This is the first of 2 modules funded by Colorado Access to assist families with children in or nearing transition. This is a co-presentation between Family Voices Colorado and Colorado Access. We are titling this The Art of Letting Grow, as this is what families need help with as they let children grow into adulthood. I'm Christy Blakely, and I'm the proud mom of 2 girls, Lauren, age 31, and she has cerebral palsy, and Allison, age 30. They're both in significant relationships and very happy in their lives. It's part of what gives me some of this knowledge. Many transitions take place for families and children with special needs as they turn 14, 16, 18, and then 21. There are many different systems which families must learn to navigate. One system not talked about is that transition from health care, that transition as the child becomes an adult. So this is the focus of this presentation, that time between pediatrics and adult health care and how to navigate that. As the parent of a child with cerebral palsy, I learned to understand how the school system, the developmental disability system, or community center board in Colorado, and other systems supported my daughter Lauren. What I didn't understand was at what age and stage things changed for her services. I never felt prepared for transition. I never felt like I didn't have a roadmap. I just needed a roadmap. The school had special language for the time, these ages and stages, like awareness at 14 for career development, and then exploration at 15. And they wrote goals for awareness activities and exploration for career opportunities. But what about health care? I kept wondering about health care. What I did not hear anything about were the stages for health transition. She was growing older. What would the pediatrician see her forever? Were there things I could have been doing to teach her to direct her care or manage her health better? Was I always to be her voice with doctors and others? It was scary to think, but what if I'm not around? I wanted a list of things to do. I just didn't have that list. Our world just assumes that families will take care of things forever. My goal was to create as much independence as possible. I began to think of her life as a relay race. I felt there should be a time when I should carry the baton with her or for her, and then eventually let go, and she could carry it herself or with the help of others, depending on her abilities. For example, beginning to talk about nutrition and why eating certain foods each day was important should begin early in life. Having that discussion so a child with diabetes begins to self-monitor food intake and choose more carefully is a step in the right direction for increasing independence. Talking about healthcare coverage you and your child have now and how you make an appointment. Things like that are pieces that parents should be involved along the way with their children. You can even role play making an appointment. What information's needed? What do you say when you call the doctor? Sharing how you remember to take your medications. Then set an alarm or a reminder for your child to begin taking on that responsibility, to remember to take their medications on the right time. All of these suggestions are things I've done to increase my daughter's independence in healthcare. Learning for young adults doesn't just happen at school. They must learn to take more responsibility and learn how to work with people outside of their own families. That goes for healthcare too, how to talk with the doctor. When it comes to their health care, rules change and privacy laws exist. Ask your provider if they have a transition policy. When do they refer young adults to an adult doctor? This goes for specialists too. Some specialists ask you to change to an adult provider as early as 16, as their practices have long waiting lists. Asking to go meet the doctor they refer you to, or do you go find someone yourself? These are things to be asking sooner than you're ready. One thing that might help is gathering your health documents into one spot. find a file folder or a box and begin to file health history from baby forward, kind of chronologically, so your child has the information available when needed. Did they have chicken pox? When was that? Did they have their tonsils out? When was that? They should carry copies of their insurance cards from as early as age 6 or 7. You can place the copies in their backpack in a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag, in case of an emergency. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Today, more than ever before, health care is very confusing. Let me expand a little bit more on health documents. If you have that file folder or box and you begin to create that health history, think about the fact that it isn't just the doctor's responsibility to keep all that documentation. You should have some ownership of it, and so should your child. Keeping things like medication lists or charts are a great way to start. Asking for copies of reports and keeping those in order is a great way to help you get organized and to hand that baton in the relay race off to your child. If your child has a hospitalization or procedures, type up a list by age and help yourself by remembering that. It's so much easier to do it now than to do it when the child's, say, 31, like I have. Here's a sample of the medication list that I've used for years. It gives the dose and frequency and medications, and I keep it on a typical computer software. I keep track of it, and I keep it up to date. That way, when I go to the provider's office, I can hand them that instead of trying to remember the names of all those medications and how much she takes and why. Another thing you can do is this health history. See how simple? Just thinking about what happened that first year of life and by month, because things change each month, and then going into the years. And what happened? Did they have a procedure? Did something happen? Did they have the chicken pox or another childhood illness? Keeping track of that will help the child know down the road. And you've handed that baton of independence. Teaching your child that when you go to the doctor, you should be prepared. If you need extra time, ask when scheduling the appointment. Have your questions written down. Think about the questions you have in order from head to toe. If this is a new doctor, providing all the documentation, that history of health that you just wrote, in advance, will allow the doctor to familiarize himself or herself with your history. Ask your doctor to write down information shared, especially if the language spoken is not your native language. Share your medications by either bringing them in a bag or that medication list on the slide previously. Ask the best way to communicate with the doctor if you have questions after your visit. Your visit doesn't stop at the door. Here are some resources that you may want to use. Family Voices Colorado, and there's actually a National Health Care Transition Center called Got Transition, and they do webinars as well. To learn more, you can also use that Transition Healthcare Checklist. That was the roadmap I wanted. It helps ask questions and discuss with your child what they need to know about their health so that little by little they're carrying the baton. I encourage you to ask questions. Your provider may have transition materials. Family Voices is a wonderful resource in Colorado and in other states for families that have kids with special needs or chronic conditions. This organization has developed a transition tool, which we'll talk about in the next module. And for more creative ideas to help you and your child transition. This is The Art of Letting Grow, and we hope you enjoyed today's session.